Hello. Welcome to the Liberation Mountain Part 10. This is where we interview people from heaven, and I never know who we're going to interview until Tolu introduces the people from heaven and tells us who we're interviewing. Hope you have a good time today. I hope the message touches you. It gives you something to think about and something to decide to do. And I've got my coffee here and I'm entertained and I've slept enough today to be in the mood to do this. And so I'll hand you over to Lou.
Thank you, Matthew. Welcome, Papa. Welcome, Jesus. Welcome, Holy Spirit. Welcome, June, Bethany, and Diana, and of course, the inhabitants of heaven and the inhabitants of earth that are watching us or that will be watching us later. We welcome you all. So, the person that we'll be speaking to today, we've spoken to him a few times, but that was before the people listening to us on earth. So, I thought I should bring King Solomon back so we can speak to King Solomon again today, but of course, with the inhabitants of earth having the opportunity to hear from him. So we're speaking to King Solomon today. But before we introduce King Solomon, I don't want to assume that everyone knows who King Solomon is. So I'll quickly read an extract that I got online. King Solomon was one of the most famous kings in the Bible, known for three defining things: wisdom, wealth, and complex spiritual journey. He was the son of King David and ruled Israel during a time of great peace and prosperity. What made Solomon unique? When God appeared to him and said, "Ask for anything," Solomon didn't ask for riches or power, he asked for wisdom to lead people well. Because of this, he became known as the wisest man who ever lived. One of his most well known moments is the judgment of Solomon. Two women claimed to be the mother of the same baby. Solomon suggested dividing the child, revealing the true mother by her compassion. Wisdom is not just knowledge, it is insight into the human heart. Solomon built the first temple in Jerusalem, a sacred place dedicated to God, symbolizing God's presence, worship, covenant with Israel. And Solomon lived in immense luxury: gold, silver, palaces, influence over nations, peace, and prosperity. He had what many people spend their lives chasing. So, despite his wisdom, Solomon's heart drifted. He married many foreign wives, adopted their influences, slowly moved away from full devotion to God. So Solomon is traditionally linked to books like Ecclesiastes, Exploring Meaning and Emptiness, Proverbs,
Ecclesiastic.
Matthew, please, Proverbs, Wisdom for Life, Song of Songs, Love and Intimacy. So in Ecclesiastes, he famously says, everything is meaningless, not because life has no value, but because life without alignment with God feels empty. So why Solomon matters for us today? Solomon represents a powerful tension. He helps explore success versus meaning, wisdom versus obedience, fulfillment versus emptiness. So in one sentence, King Solomon was a man of unmatched wisdom and wealth who discovered that nothing truly satisfies apart from a deep aligned relationship with God. Wow. With all those wealth, it didn't make nothing. I'm sure a lot of people that are listening to us on her, they've got the wealth, but they still feel that there's still some vacuum in their heart that they need something else to feel apart from the wealth. So let's welcome King Solomon. Hello, King Solomon.
Hello. I was going to say darling, but you object to darling. Hello, Tolu, learned soul, gifted writer, gifted speaker, good friend to the beloved Matthew, Robert Payne, patient one, grumpy one, rebuking one, not satisfied unless you have perfection one, friendly woman.
Oh my
Tolu.
God, King Solomon. I love that.
You love your introduction. I had an introduction, so I thought I'd give you one. Tolu is out of all the people in the world, 8 billion people. She was selected to
Wow.
not only question God and draw close to God, but in recent conversations to become and take the very place of being God's wife. And
Wow.
there's not many people on earth that would qualify for that. And so, in some respects, it's good to be interviewed and to come and showcase who I am and some things and thoughts that I have for the people of heaven and the people of earth. But in other respects, it's a real honor and privilege to be interviewed by this woman, Tulu.
Oh, thank you, King Solomon. I always love to speak to you. Our conversations are always very deep, King Solomon, because you possess so much wisdom that has become part and parcel of who you are. So I'm so excited today. Hopefully, the people of the earth can be really touched. King Solomon, when God asks what you desired, you chose wisdom. Why? A lot of people might be wondering, why did you choose wisdom? You could have choose something else, wealth, power. What was so fascinating about wisdom that you were drawn to wisdom?
I wasn't necessarily choosing wisdom for wisdom's sake. So many people on earth have heard that story or, read that story or are aware of that story. And they seek after wisdom like they seek after riches. They want
Hmm.
to possess something powerful, or they seek after God's secrets because they hear God has secrets. And if God does release a secret to them, they share it with everyone in the best-selling book, The
Wow.
Secret of This. But it wasn't necessarily seeking wisdom and asking for wisdom. I was asking how to better manage the people and how
Wow.
to help the people. If I had been able to do that with more learning or with more knowledge or with a greater authority or greater access to the libraries of the world, whatever way I was able to judge and help the people, I would have sought that. But I asked for wisdom. The wisdom was the ability to be able to judge the people and manage the people. People
Hmm.
get the cart before the horse. So I think I was seeking wisdom. And in one
Absolutely.
sense, that's what the Bible says, but it was the ability to judge my people, not for wisdom's sake.
Wow. And why do you think that was important to have the ability to be able to rule your people?
It's the people come to the king for justice. The people come to the king for answers. The people come to us to better sort their life out, to make
Hmm.
their life more equitable, and to be able to be a good judge and to be able to be a good decision maker was very important to me. I cared
Hmm.
about people. I cared about them not getting ripped off, them not being abused, them not being in a hard situation, them being treated well. And my lack of wisdom at that time was a deficiency, and it frustrated me. And so God endowed me with something that gave me the ability to make wise decisions.
Wow. Wow. That's interesting. A lot of people will probably not think in that way, but you need wisdom to rule as a king, isn't it? But when you look at wisdom, does it feel like clarity or did it sometimes feel like a burden?
Well, Matthew quotes this quite often, or different saints or God quotes this. Whoever speaks through him, it actually comes from him as a source, and he
Hmm.
has the saints say it. I said in Ecclesiastics, with much wisdom comes much sorrow.
Yeah.
And that's a really deep statement. And
Hmm.
basically says if uh, the more wisdom you have, the more depressed you'll be.
Wow.
And and uh, and so it's not possible to have great wisdom and not be depressed.
Wow. It comes with a price.
Yeah, so wisdom does have a burden,
Wow.
like you were saying. Does it come with a burden? And once again, uh, like was pointed out to you yesterday uh,
Hmm.
by uh, by
Is it
um,
Prince?
uh, the singer, famous singer.
Oh, Elton.
Yeah, you have very careful and sharp intuition, and you ask good questions because you are spiritually sensitive, and
Hmm.
maybe that's one of your helpers giving you that spiritual intuition. But you know. Everyone's looking at Trump and how he's
Yeah.
started a war with Israel, and he's in the middle of a bad war and it's going to cost the world something. But when you're in a position of power like that, there's
Hmm.
worries and there's burdens and there's responsibilities, and
Wow.
that's not often spoke about by
No.
our leaders. And when I wrote in Ecclesiastics was just sharing my mind, sharing some truths, uh,
Wow.
you know, life is all striving after the wind, the purposeless of life. And I was just
Wow.
sharing my heart. And so there's some great wisdom in Ecclesiastics with me just shooting the breeze and sharing
Wow.
some things. But wisdom, you can't cheat wisdom. You can try and suppress the things that you understand and but they can be depressing themes that you ponder on.
Wow. King Solomon, is it the same with wealth? Does wealth come with sorrow as well? Do you think?
What do you think? Do you think it would?
Yes, I believe it will.
Yeah, well, it does. And and when you have great wealth, you have everything you need.
Yeah.
When you have everything you need for the rest of your life, with no worries of expenses for bills and the cost of living, and you get so much money that you can just live, comfortably and spend a lot of money each year and still have tremendous excess that you'll forever be right. It can turn, and it does turn a lot of people sick. They get bored. They need
Hmm.
something to entertain them because the thrust of constantly staying alive and keeping on top of things has been taken away. And so a lot of societies, rich people and elite become mentally sick and spiritually sick
Wow.
and start doing sick and depraved things because they want a rush. They want
Hmm.
joy to their life. They want something different, and yeah, so you
Wow.
can become a bit of a different person when you've got a lot of money.
Wow. Isn't that interesting? Because a lot of people desire that. They desire fame, they desire wealth. But once they acquire it, that's it. What they were expecting to get from it, they're still having that same need for something else. Did you ever feel like that while you were on that?
Yeah, you can tell in my book of Ecclesiastics, it's all running after the wind. I say that everything is meaningless, has no purpose, and when you get to top of, wisdom and wealth and money,
Yeah.
and you've got nothing else to strive for, things can become quite meaningless. You've got to find reason, and that's one of the reasons I invested myself into so many wives, because it gave me
Mm,
a variety of lives and people to invest my time into. Took me a lot of my time to spend 20 minutes with each wife. It took me weeks and
wow.
weeks to go around and through all my wives and loved them and paid them attention, and it gave me an interest. Some people collect automobiles, some people collect cars, some people collect artwork. I collected wives.
I love that. I collected wives. Wow. And what was it like? Was it really fun having so many wives?
Yeah, it was fun. Just like Epstein has collected his 100
Two.
little children. His next thing may be getting even a bigger house and having 1,000 children. It's like a collection. It's a wonderful thing.
Oh,
hundred
wow.
he's 100 girls, formed a choir in the throne room, but he could have 100 ballerinas and 100 painters and 100.
Wow.
Yeah, so when you're wealthy, when you've got a lot of power,
Mm,
you can make really good decisions, and you can foresee and experience choice and variety. And I had so
mm.
much wealth I could pay for the livelihoods of 1,000 wives.
Wow.
Most people on earth can't really support themselves and a wife and a few kids.
Yeah.
I had thousands of children, and
Wow.
they're all here in heaven. And perhaps Epstein can look after some of my children for me because I'm going broke. Yeah, I'm glad you can laugh. I meant it to be funny. Uh,
God, he's Solomon.
yeah, and some of my young girls
Yeah.
grew up to be tremendously attractive women, and some of my boys grew up to be handsome princes and handsome
Wow.
leaders, and yeah, so. When you have everything, and there's a number of people listening uh, on Earth, and elite in heaven listening uh, to this. When you have everything, the best pursuit you can have that will give you interest and stop you from becoming corrupt and evil and doing bad things. The best
Mm,
pursuit you can have is to become the very best friend of God's, and
mm, mm.
you can compete with the 20 most closest men and women to God, and you can put your time in to try and
Wow.
become closer to God than me, and
Wow.
and it take a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of conversations, a lot of obedience, a lot of doing things God's way. But
Wow.
it's a worthy goal to put yourself against. If you're wealthy and collect artwork, being close to God is like owning the most precious and expensive artwork in the world. Uh,
Wow.
Now, if you like being wise and smart,
Mm,
uh, you know, being close to God would make you the smartest person in the world. Uh, yeah, having possession of God's heart, truly having possession of His heart and being very close to God is like a worthy goal for all of
wow.
you. Truly powerfully wealthy people on earth and you elite in heaven. If you can focus your attention on striving to be a very close friend of God, that'll put out the fires. There may be many fires in your life and things that light up and things that are hard to control and things that you have to put your attention on as you live life with all its ups and downs. But one thing you can focus on that's true is developing a very deep and loving relationship with God. And He'll
Mm,
tell you that you're in the top 100 now, and you're in the top 50 now, and you're in the top 20 now. He'll give you feedback. He'll be happy to give you feedback. But
mm,
that's something that the Patricias and Angelicas and the wealthy women and men of the world who are listening to this, perhaps through your questions and conversations with God that you're having, perhaps you can make a personal, intimate, close, private aim of yourself to become very close to God. And you can also make an aim to become close to Matthew. I know that Matthew appears to each of you when he's sleeping and even when he's awake. There's multiple bodies of Matthew's spirit that meets people. You can draw close to him and draw some of his wisdom. And I hope that what I just said was helpful to a lot of you.
wow. It's really, really helpful, King Solomon, because a lot of people don't think closeness to God is something they should aspire for. But I remember Papa saying in one of our conversations, said the reward is me. The reward is you being able to possess me. And I guess a lot of people don't look at it in that way, that God is the reward. Seeking a relationship, having an intimate relationship with Him is this most important thing you could ever possess. Just like Matthew, people will look at him as a wretched man, but it's not a wretched man in heaven because of his relationship with God, Jesus, and Holy Spirit. So, King Solomon, were you aware of this or not, of the importance of having a relationship with God? Or did you become so close to Him in heaven?
It's a combination of both. I had so much authority and power. I had so much responsibility. I was in charge of God's favorite nation. I
Wow.
was in charge of the apple of God's eye, the nation of Israel. It says in that biography that it was a time of peace and prosperity. David had a kingdom. My father had a kingdom that was always at war, just like modern Israel. Modern Israel is always at war. And what was special about my reign, I reigned for quite a while. Matthew doesn't know the amount of years. But what was special and unique about my reign was there was no wars while I was
Mm,
king. And you can say, commentators probably say, and there's a lot of truth in the commentary, besides God's sovereign will and God's ability to still the minds and still the hearts of opposing kings. Commentators would say that's because I married the daughters of all the kings in the
Wow.
surrounding nations, and they weren't going to go to war with the husband of their daughter.
Mm,
And so there was strategic, uh,
mm,
perhaps if Israel had a king and didn't have a prime minister, and the king married all the daughters of the surrounding nations, Syria and Iraq and Iran and uh, and Lebanon and Palestine. Uh, Perhaps if the king married all the daughters of all those countries, then there may be peace. And without fighting, Israel might be able to take the land that it wants to fulfill the age-old promise. The
mm.
age-old promise was fulfilled. Joshua said in the book of Joshua, or Moses said in the book of Joshua, that it had been fulfilled. The promise had been fulfilled. There was a time Joshua took all the promised land that was promised, and the nation of Israel possessed the land, and that promise was fulfilled. It doesn't have to be fulfilled a second time.
Wow.
Israel are on a demonic rage, and
Mm.
yeah, so uh, perhaps understanding uh, the way and the mechanics things happen. I was uh, I was happy and I ruled well, and but there was a lot of responsibilities. There was a lot of things to think about. Uh, you know, it's not just about my wealth and my power and my wisdom and the fact that I built the temple. There was a lot of day-to-day activities, day-to-day responsibilities of a king, and I ruled and reigned really well.
Wow. You reigned for 40 years, King Solomon.
Oh yeah,
40.
David reigned for 40 years too.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
For 40 years, but no war. Whereas King David's time was full of battles.
yeah,
And I'm wondering, is it from the wisdom that you got from God that you were able to think creatively, like acquire so many wives from these countries, and then they don't need to go to war with us?
yeah. That's Matthew's assumption, and I don't disagree with that assumption. Matthew's going to make himself a coffee. If you don't mind that disturbance, you can keep on talking to me as he makes a coffee. Uh, and
You know, King Solomon, yesterday, while we were speaking to Elton asked a question. And I did tell him that you still have 1,000, all your wives are still with you in heaven. Do you think people will believe that you still possess so many wives in heaven?
I don't care if people believe it. People in heaven experience it and know it. So it doesn't matter if people listen to this video and believe it. Uh, what matters to me is that I remain authentic and I remain uh, close to God and I remain loyal to God. What people might not know, and Matthew has heard, and it's the truth. But all the main symbology symbols of the Masonic order and witchcraft, they all were designed by me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know what you were designing while you were doing it?
For my witchcraft wives.
Oh, wow. So you had a lot of witches in your like part of your wives were practicing witchcraft.
Yeah.
Wow. Is it a big number of them?
Well, you wouldn't want to come against me. Let's just say I'd I'd have my I'd have my wives fix you up.
Wow. That's so interesting, King Solomon. Do you wonder why God still allows you to live the same lifestyle you lived on earth? To have all of these wives?
Uh my what you what you perceive as many wives can be misunderstood and mistaken. If you perceive many wives as my reward, then you'd allow for that reward. You
Wow.
know, it says in the book of Revelations, the last book of the Bible, for those listening, it says that God will reward them for both the good and the bad accordingly.
Mm,
And and so I got my reward while I was alive, and my eternal reward for the life I lived is in
wow.
heaven, and most of the reward is made up with the women. You know,
Wow.
I'd have to have like a very big mansion to have 1,000 bedrooms, or have multiple palaces in heaven. And you know, I don't know.
Mm,
There's a lot of women that can be satisfied without sex. It doesn't mean that I spend one night with each woman and it takes me 3 years to go around all my wives. Some wives are just totally complete and
mm.
happy just being known to be my wife.
Wow.
Like so many women have children and stop the need or the desire to have sex. So they're married, they've got children, they're totally fulfilled, and they don't want to have sex. So it can be true of a wife of mine. She can be happy to be my wife. She can have children that are part of her life that she's invested a life into, and she doesn't necessarily have the need or desire to have sex with me. So,
Mm,
so many people look at multiple wives, and I'm talking to Matthew here as I speak, and I think it's purely a sexual thing. They think that this person is just full of lust and full of
mm,
desire and can't help himself. But what if uh, what if all the women in the world had the chance to be the wife of Einstein
mm,
and spend time with Einstein? Or what if all the women were given the chance to be the wife of Elon Musk and spend
mm.
time with Elon Musk? It's like the prize that you are. It's like
Wow.
you are the prize, and the other women have the opportunity to be part of the prize. They can have a normal they can have a normal Israeli man who's just got a job as a farmer, or they can be the wife of a king.
Wow.
And
Wow.
and there's no choice for them. It seems like no choice. They go from one level of society to the highest level of society simply by marrying me. So, you know, you know Matthew Tolu. You know Matthew as Matthew here on earth, who's got like undisciplined
Yes.
and lazy and stuff. But you haven't seen him, even though you know him, but you haven't seen him walk through heaven and the whole
No.
of heaven like run after him. You haven't seen him on throne in heaven and worship songs sung about him and people worshiping him. You know, you it's hard for him to imagine, but the people of heaven really desire him, and
Wow.
if they get the opportunity, if they're single and they get the opportunity to be one of his wives, even if it's 500th wife, they're still happy to be known as Matthew's wife. And
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
so
Wow.
it's a status, it's a status ability, but it also comes from you can't you wouldn't be a really good husband. You wouldn't be able to have multiple lives like that without having a big heart, a heart that
Mm,
would care about each individual, that would sow into each individual, who fully love and embrace each individual that's a wife. And so it's an equal responsibility. Like a normal man who's selfish, who wants everything his own way, wants to possess his woman and control his woman, he wouldn't have the capability or the personality to be able to be a wife of multiple women,
absolutely. Wow.
a husband of multiple women.
Wow. Do you know why God chose Queen Bathsheba to be your wife, to be your mother?
She was extraordinarily pretty. So there's like a glory on there's a powerful glory on beauty. So
Mm,
she was a carrier of God's glory in her beauty. She was tremendously wise and smart. She had good common sense. Uh, she uh, she was a good mother-in-law to my wife. She had the capacity to love every one of my wives, and none of my wives felt loved less by her. There was
wow.
no favorites with her. She loved all of them, so she co-ruled with me.
Wow.
She was a co-ruler, so she was she. Matthew's not sure if she was King David's queen, but she ruled like a queen over my kingdom and my wife's.
Wow. So she's special to God.
Yeah, she wasn't just a naked young girl having a shower one day that David saw, you know. It was destiny.
Wow. It
Yeah,
was dead.
she could have stayed inside and showered later and not not bathed not bathed, didn't have showers in those days, but she could have been pouring water over herself 2 hours later and the whole thing not happen. She just happened to go out when David was probably on his balcony having a peruse around the city, and she came out, took her clothes off in front of him, and started bathing, and he was just allured. He was just glued. He was just send my servants down. Servant, go down and get her. And
Oh
yeah,
my
and
God.
you heard the rest uh
Yeah.
in Bathsheba's story, but
Yeah.
yeah, this is how so many of you women on earth and women listening on heaven were used as escorts and spies to seduce men and take
Mm.
men's companies and take control of men and have men make decisions about the companies so your bosses can control. You know what a wink and a sexy outfit and a kiss or a compliment to a man can do to a man. You know, the power of sex is just so powerful. And there's, my mother wasn't trying to seduce David, but she certainly, when she was presented with the opportunity to sleep with a king, she certainly uh, played a part, which was yeah. I just talk about my mother that way. My mother's sitting here listening to me speak, so I can't go too R-rated talking about her, but you know, she certainly is truly beautiful. She gives Tiffany and Mary Magdalene a run for their money.
King David, you're so funny. No, sorry, King Solomon. You're so funny. Wow. It's interesting that she's listening to what you're saying here. What do you think Daddy thinks, King David?
What do I think? What?
King David, what's he thinking now? Is
Ah,
he like,
he's proud of me. He
oh,
he didn't have the courage to have as many wives as me.
so he's proud of what you were able to achieve?
Do you know, all my sons and daughters have got lineages, and it makes up like their children make up like millions and millions of people in the world today.
Wow. You're right. Because the genealogy continues, isn't it?
Yeah,
Wow. People don't look at it that way, isn't it?
yeah.
But they,
So there's uh, there's millions and millions and millions of people in heaven that are my offspring.
wow, that's interesting. What do you think about that? Do you love that?
Yeah, I love them. Yeah, I you've heard the term the beautiful people. Well, my
Yeah.
offspring are the beautiful people.
Wow. The
Because I
beautiful.
didn't just pick. I didn't just pick virgin females. I picked beautiful virgin females,
Wow.
and
You're very,
everyone's beautiful. I'm not speaking wrongly against women who are listening who would consider themselves plain or not especially beautiful. I'm not speaking against you. I'm just speaking about. I went after women like my mother and
wow.
continued that glory, the glory of beauty. Meghan
Wow.
Markle has that glory of beauty on her,
Yes,
but
she does.
she misused that, and hopefully she'll come into line and listen to what's being said. Um, but yeah,
Wow. Before I continue, Matthew, does anybody ask question from your side?
um,
For King Solomon.
yeah. So Haley's really bold. Haley asks, "How were you? Did you have a normal sized bed, or did you have a bed that could fit three or four of your wives in it? Like if uh, if you were sleeping with a different wife, spend your time sleeping, not having sex, but spend your time in bed
Hmm.
with a different wife every night. It would take over 3 years for you to like see them all, but you could spend less time, like a year, if you had three or four wives in your bed at each time. You could talk to them. Did you do something like that, or did you just be in the bedroom with one girl at a time? And so that's just a bit of wisdom in you, Haley, thinking that I did have women that loved each other and were close to each other like sisters, and women who decided to sleep with me, go to bed with me, and spend the night with me together. And so I had groups of three and four girls that would always be with me, and we'd just lie in bed for maybe an hour or two, just having conversations and talking and stuff, and uh, and so yeah, when you have so many, there's an investment of time that's needed, and you've got to spread it out. And so, yeah, that time, as we went to sleep and as we woke up, that time was precious, and so there was multiple ones there. Some would
Mm.
do something very special in the kingdom or achieve a certain thing, and she would buy for herself a reward of just being with me at night by herself. And mostly on those nights that a girl did something, one of my wives did something extraordinary, I would make love to her on that night. That would be her reward. But when uh, when you have so many wives and you're spending so much time just seeing them and spending time with them, it goes away from being a sexual thing to like a spread of your power base, a spread of who you are, a spread of your brain, and they each have a responsibility in something they're doing, and so some of the time is checking up on their job and checking up on what they're doing and giving them feedback and encouragement. All of them were fortunate to have children, and so there was sex involved, but the sex that happened in my relationships wasn't so much for pleasure, it was to produce children for these women so they could have a child. Like women are really satisfied being married, and women are really satisfied being a mother. And so some of them who did the most work and achieved the most that had some of the single nights with me had the most children.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
So another person who she's a singer and uh, uh, Matthew can't remember her name uh, and so that Matthew can't remember her name. She asked that uh, are you still taking on wives in heaven? Is the uh, women still coming forth and wanting to be your wife in heaven as a king? And uh, the uh, the answer is yes. That opportunity is that really extraordinary women in heaven get the chance to be my wife, and it's a special. It's a vocation. It's like my best work is my best work that I've done through the centuries is ministering to my wife and
Mm.
ministering to their children and ministering to the progeny that goes forth. So I'm like more than a monarch. I'm someone who's like a father to generations of people, and so loving wives and bringing out their full potential is like my ministry. Um, yeah. So you thanks for your question and your name is a mystery. Matthew knows who you are, but he's he's forgotten your name, and perhaps that's what you prefer.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for asking those questions. They're quite an interesting question. I wouldn't have asked that kind of question, but it's really good to go deeper. So, King Solomon, was intimacy with God something you protected or something you assumed will always remain?
I become more intimate with God when I got to heaven. The responsibility of ruling a kingdom got me close to God, but I come much closer to God when I got to heaven and started to meet Him face to face, have long form conversations. I mean, long form conversations like 1 or 2 hour conversations. And, you know, um, I not only had long conversations with God, but I'd take 5 or 10 of my wives in with me. And so not only would God answer my questions, He'd answer um, some of my special people questions. And uh,
Mm.
I found taking 5 or 10 of my wives in, uh, the best two questions in the room weren't asked by me; they were asked by my
Wow.
wife. And so that's why I'm really fascinated with the rising up of the cigar lounge, because that's just a beautiful place of questions, and there's so much learning that's happening. So I really grew over the years closer to God, and the more society, the more the world shifted away from the ideal, the more the world shifted away from godly ways, the more the sadder God became, and the more depressed He became, and the more depressed God became, the
Mm.
more I pressed in and made an aim of staying close.
Wow.
It really, uh, I really suggest that you people on Earth, um, Matthew's looking for the name of that girl. Um, I really suggest that you on Earth uh, ask questions, and you know try to ask questions that will get the heart of God speaking, and get to His emotions. And yeah, um, there's a book series, God's Last Days Message to His Children, and there's videos on
Mm.
YouTube. And I know June has uh, laid down some very specific rules for you, that you aren't to watch the videos, you aren't to read the books, you're not to contact Matthew, not to give Matthew money. We understand all that, but Tolu started asking questions of God in God's Last Days Message to His Children series. She must have asked between 2 and 3 thousand questions. You can ask 2 or 3 thousand questions. You can
Mm.
continue to ask questions, and I'd even suggest, if you want to learn a lot more and take a lot more on, to record that, even record videos of you asking questions, and allow God to speak through you onto the video. And the video can be private, but you'll learn so much going back to those videos and hearing God's answers. And
Mm.
I was speaking to everyone, but especially the really wealthy and powerful among you. There's no greater possession in the world. There's no greater prize than to be a friend of God's. And so many of you through the years have had the wrong God presented. So many of you have learned about a God that isn't real, and as you've asked Him tens and hundreds of questions, by now in a week or two, you've come
Mm.
to realize that He's different. And I really encourage you to ask those thousands of questions, and start recording them or transcribing them, and getting a print out of what He says, because He says some wonderful things, and things that He'll repeat. He'll repeat, like He's repeated to Tolu multiple times. You don't need us; we need you. Like
Mm.
you're more important to us than we are to you. And I love you. I do this because I love you. And he repeats and repeats and repeats himself until it's a reality in your life. So I really encourage you to um, pursue God and ask Him all the questions you can.
Wow, that's beautiful. King Solomon, you were given extraordinary wisdom. Did it change how you experience life in comparison to others?
Yeah, Matthew often uses this analogy that Holy Spirit told him wisdom is the successful application of knowledge.
Mm,
So there's a lot of knowledge in the world about finances and how
yeah.
to invest and stock markets and stuff and investing. There's a lot of books and videos, courses you can take about that subject. A lot of knowledge, but the
Mm,
people the people who've got the wisdom
yeah.
about money, not the knowledge, the people that are successfully applying the knowledge on money are the Jews. Twenty
Mm,
twenty percent of the richest people in the world are Jews, and Jews don't
wow.
even make up 1% of the population. So they're like 20 times more successful with money and investing. So there's a lot of knowledge, a lot of books and knowledge that you can get about investing, but the people with the wisdom on money
Mm,
don't share their secrets, and
wow.
they really apply that wisdom to the point that they are more successful financially. And so, of course, wisdom, when you have true wisdom, it affects every part of your life and manifests in so many different ways. There's wisdom, and Matthew's aware that he can be explicit and sexual, but there's a special memory that you can have attached to wisdom, that you
Mm,
know what each of your thousand wives like in bed, like sexually. And
wow.
you can, when you meet that woman, your wisdom can say, "Well, she likes you doing this," and you do this, and she really responds. And so, wisdom can be applied to every facet of life, and every
Mm,
facet of life can be extraordinary. And I not only do my
mm,
wife's be fulfilled being a part of my life, but
mm,
they've got very important roles and things that they achieve in heaven in their own right. They're important in their own right. A whole lot of painters and actors and musicians and producers and directors and artists and chefs and restaurant owners and cafe owners and cafe chain owners and you know
mm.
there's they're all doing wonderful jobs.
Wow. 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 That's beautiful. King Solomon, you experienced unmatched wealth and influence, of course, from what I read earlier on about the life you live. Oh, what did it feel like to have everything within reach?
Well, you got to find a higher purpose when you reach
Mm,
that stage. You got to find something that's meaningful above money and wisdom and wealth. Because if you don't
wow.
find it, you can get really sick.
Wow.
And I'm speaking to those people on earth who've been doing those six things. You can come out of that. Matthew, Matthew hasn't got the answers for people who are listening that are pedophiles. He knows he's got his own sex addiction, and he finds that hard to break. So it hasn't particularly got answers, but there's comfort in a relationship with God. Maybe
Mm,
a Holy Spirit can give you direction, a step by step guide to get away from some of those harmful things that you do. But uh, what's uh, what's known by God is you can have like a wonderful relationship with God the more you talk to Him. So uh, yes, I did have a stage where I had to choose who I was going to follow,
mm,
and I had choices. I had the gods of my wives. I had the Jewish God, and I had
mm.
to choose which God I was going to bow to and which God I was going to follow. And for a time there, it was dicey, but I ended up in heaven and I ended up
Mm.
pursuing God and putting the time and the effort into becoming very close to Him.
Wow. Do you know why God brought you to heaven?
Because He loved me,
Mm,
because I had achieved a lot, and because I was worthy, and yeah. So many of you are listening, and this may be news to you, but the only reason you're listening to this on earth is because you've been chosen.
mm.
The,
Wow.
the people that can't hear this broadcast weren't chosen to
Wow.
hear this broadcast. So there could be a lot of people in similar positions and similar ways of life that aren't listening to this broadcast that'll still go to heaven. But the people who are listening, the people who can hear this, were specifically chosen to hear these messages.
Wow.
And I'm not sure if you feel special because you're chosen. I know that I would be, and
Mm,
and I know you know that the girl that had the question that Matthew can't find her name. I know that she's feels really special, and I know different people in the audience feel really special that are talking to Matthew's intellect now.
mm,
Kanye feels special. Kim Kardashian feels special, and I know that you're probably aware that the answers coming back are going are being tailored to
mm.
you and directed to you. Sort of Matthew's having an influence on what we say to actually tailor it to you, people on Earth, and the answers are tailored to the people in heaven too, and we want to encourage people of heaven, and the interviews all get collated, and the rhema and the special things that have been said be it's collated into your resource packs. But I want you to know that, and if I haven't said it before clearly enough, your chief purpose, the chief goal, the chief prize, the chief possession is the heart of God.
Mm,
And as you tune in each day, you can be confident that Tolu will ask the right questions, and she'll have the intuition given to her to ask the right questions by either Diana, the alien, or Bethany, the scribe angel, or June, the alien, or her own intellect come up with the selections. And you can trust that a woman who's destined to become God's wife, and I've never heard of anyone else being God's wife, and you can trust that she's going to lead us and guide us and direct us into the right place. Um, but I really encourage you to tune in each day and listen to these things and take advice and pull out for yourself the line or the sentences that appeal to you the most and go and act on them.
Wow, King Solomon, what you said there is very deep. Wow. It still shocks me when you say that, King Solomon.
When I say what?
Wife of God.
Yeah, well, it may take a while to come to grips with, you know. Do you think that how many years do you think it took Jesus to come to grips with the fact that he was the Messiah?
Hmm. I'm not sure of that. Did it take Jesus a while for that to sink in?
Well, that's a question for you to investigate.
Wow. I never thought of that at all. King Solomon, I never thought that Jesus would probably have struggled with seeing himself as the Messiah. Does he know he's the Messiah now?
Yeah.
Wow. Hmm. You know, what does wealth give and what can it never give?
Wealth gives you opportunity and power and the ability to get what you want in many respects, but it doesn't give you intimacy with Jesus or God or the Holy Spirit.
Hmm.
The most important. Some of the most broke and poor people in the world have great relationships with God. And when
Absolutely.
all is said and done, when they arrive in heaven, they'll be exalted. They'll be have a great place in heaven. Uh, you know, Jesus even hints at the fact that having wealth could keep you out of heaven. Um,
Hmm.
so wealth can actually be a deterrent to having intimacy with God, and that that is true. But yeah, so many people pursue wealth because they feel it holds so many answers for them. They feel that they can get everything they ever desire if they could just get wealth.
Wow. And that's not the case.
No, well, Matthew's on like not a really big income, but he's happy
Hmm.
and uh, and he's fulfilled, and he doesn't need a larger income, and doesn't if he got he had a dream that he inherited $20 million from his uncle, and he wouldn't even know what he'd do with $20 million. He'd go off his pension. That's one thing he'd do. He said in his dream that he'd buy 5 apartments and collect the rent from those apartments. Probably tell his Social Security that he doesn't need the pension anymore. But he's at a loss what he'd do with that sort of money. I know personally, I keep up with the world, and if someone was going to give me $20 million, I know exactly what I'd do with it. But yeah, uh, so wealth is mysterious and it's got power and it's got ability And many of you listening have got the wealth and the power and the ability. But so many of you in the last 2 weeks have started interviewing God, and Tiffany has taken you on excursions to heaven to meet Jesus and God. And you've had like a real excitement happen in your
Hmm.
life that you've never been so excited and so happy. And that's something your wealth didn't get you. That's something
Wow.
that you opening up and having an open heart got you, and being obedient to someone who's speaking to you. That's what obedience got you. So there are things greater, intimacy with God and intimacy with Jesus, and the wisdom of God is worth more than material wealth.
Wow. Man, I'm always so fascinated. What was written in the Bible, of course, that came from you, which is in Ecclesiastes. I don't know why my teeth
Ecclesiastes.
about life feeling meaningless. What was happening inside you at that time? What were you thinking? What made you to feel alive, even with all of this wealth, with all of this opportunity, all of this fame, is still meaningless? In what way?
Yeah, well, you just reach a stage where you've got so much money and so much power and so much wisdom that you feel it's all just a waste of time. And,
Wow.
you know, I haven't got the exact quote there, and Matthew doesn't remember the quote, but it was just a declaration, just a way of saying everything in life is just hopeless. It's just meaningless. And
Hmm.
a lot of you wealthy guys listening, we're directing a lot of this at you wealthy guys, but even people who aren't wealthy would understand what I'm saying. But, you
Hmm.
know, when you get all the money and you get all the success and you get all the power, like particularly Taylor Swift, for instance, um, reaches a stage where life loses its meaning. And
Hmm.
you're fortunate, Taylor, having albums to produce and more albums to write and more albums to pursue and more tours to do. But you have to admit, or you probably have to admit that it's become a bit transactional. It's become a bit cyclical. It's become a bit mundane. It's become a bit monotonous to you. Like, what are
Wow.
you going to do after you sing? What are you going to pursue? What are you going to spend your time doing when the singing finishes? When you
Hmm.
age out of being a pop performer? What are you going to do? And there's so many of you musicians that have seen success, but there's some of you who've been years since you've been in the spotlight. What are you going to do? Is life meaningless to you? Can you relate to my words in Ecclesiastes? And so I
Hmm.
I wrote those words at a time of deep reflection, and they're a testament to me and testament to the world that they exist in the Bible. You wouldn't think my doubting God and doubting the meaning of life would
Yeah.
actually be in the Bible. You'd think it would be edited out of the Bible. It wouldn't be there. But that's the good thing about the Bible. The doubts of David, my father, and the doubts of people who've lived actually recorded in the Bible. And yeah, so I hope that
Wow.
helped.
Yeah, it helps. I'm going to read this. I think it appeared about 3 or 4 times in Ecclesiastes, but the first one is chapter 1, verse 2. Meaningless, meaningless is the teacher. Utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. Wow. Then in the same chapter 1, verse 14 says, I have seen all things that are done under the sun. All of them are meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Then 2 verse 11 says, yet when I survey all that my hands had done, everything was meaningless. A chasing after the wind, nothing was gained under the sun. And the last one is 12 verse 8. Meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher. Everything is meaningless. Wow, you mentioned it so many times, King Solomon. You keep emphasizing meaningless, meaningless, meaningless. Like, what were you going through?
It's just the frustration of having everything you ever desired and not seeing any meaning in anything you do. What counts is your relationship with Jesus, your relationship with God. We didn't know about Jesus back in those days. What counts is your relationship with God, your purpose, and what you're destined to do, and fulfilling your purpose. I was a king and a ruler, but it lost its glow. It lost its meaning. It lost its shininess. It lost its glory, and so now I get a lot of my self-esteem. I get a lot of my purpose out of being
Wow.
God's friend and doing things to
Wow.
alleviate God's pain and helping Him. And I get a lot of my purpose out of assisting my wives and encouraging my wives in what they do. But it was a very sad time of life, and I'm glad you felt inspired to read that to the people here, because many of the people haven't read the book of Ecclesiastics, have never heard that before. And that's coming from the richest man that's ever lived and the
Mm.
wisest man that's ever lived. And that's what I had to say, that life was
Wow.
meaningless. And I didn't say it once, I said it 4 times there. And so I repeated myself. And sometimes when you hear someone repeating themselves, what they're
Mm.
saying is important, and it's
Wow.
important for you to know that there can be a life, there can be a purpose, there can be a dream, there can be a desire that's worth more than money and worth more than life. And I know it's a good thing to have purpose in life, but it's also a tremendous thing to focus your attention on becoming God's best friend.
Wow. I still have so many questions, but I have to stop. This has been great conversation, King Solomon. You've got so much wisdom in you. And I believe people listening on earth will be able to resonate so well with what you're saying because a lot of them have got the wealth as well. But maybe there's still something they're seeking, and that thing is God.
Yeah. Matthew's got to
Yeah.
go to the toilet and make a drink, and then we'll come back for the roundup.
Ma- Matthew, no drink. Go to the toilet, no drink. I've got 15 minutes.
Yeah, but the drink will only take a minute, 30 seconds.
Well, it's true. Your drink is very fast anyway. Always drinking, Matthew.
Always drinking. You have 15 minutes,
Yep.
14 minutes now.
Yep. To finish. You always love that, isn't it, Matthew? When I'm limited by time.
Yeah.
Because you know I won't drag it for too long.
Okay.
Welcome back. Hmm. Has anyone got anything to say, feedback from people listening on her from working? Actually, before I start, King Solomon, thank you so, so much. I really appreciate this conversation, and I will be having another one very, very soon because I still got more questions to ask you. But of course, I'm running out of time. So thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. So, but for people on her, has anyone got anything to say about feedback to King Solomon?
So this is Veronica. I'm one of those girls who seduce men and take their finances and used by the powers that be to manipulate men and sometimes I enter into relationships for years to make the transaction happen. So I'm like a robot, and I want to say that Solomon, I grew up understanding the Bible and knowing Solomon, and it was fascinating to hear him speak. I for one would gladly walk as his wife and gladly wait a year to be in bed and have a conversation with him. Um, and I think that he's really wise. I think he can speak to the frustration of having money and having control and having
Yeah.
power. I've got all those things personally, and I struggle with purpose. I struggle with feeling
Wow.
right. I struggle with feeling happy, and it seems that he gave us a very good target to become God's friend and
Yeah.
become God's closest friend. And I've been getting changed and being surprised with God's answers as I've been questioning Him over the past week. Um, I want to personally thank him for stepping forward and sharing what he had to say. I'm sure you could question him for hours and hours, and he'd invest his time into sharing his knowledge. I want to personally thank for Matthew that I could read his mind, and sometimes he was struggling, and I want to personally thank him for his perseverance and his love, and he's not getting
Yeah.
anything finances, reward.
Yeah.
He's not getting people listening to his videos or read his books. There really is no recognition. There's
Yeah.
no financial incentive. There's nothing. He just ministers all this out of the sense of his heart, and he'd make a
Mm.
very good husband for multiple wives. And I, for one, really love him, and I. I uh, part of the reason I come forward is because I'd love to have a conversation with him. But thank you for your questions, and thank you for being so obedient to those three sources that give you inspiration to live.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. Wow. Matthew, has anyone else got something to say before I move on?
So Dally, her name is Dally. She presents herself as a person who has a normal job but does music and records albums uh, for uh, for fun because her purpose. She's not a well-known musician, but her her desire and her happiness comes from that. She's also a practicing witch, and she says that I was really impressed with Haley's question where she asked, "Did he sleep with multiple women?" People would assume, or some people would assume, with dirty minds, would assume that the girls were making love in the bed the same as, but it sounds really peaceful, lying down with a king, talking for 2 hours and all having conversations. And this cigar lounge, I've gone with Tiffany to the cigar lounge and sat in there and asked questions. And it's just a really beautiful thing. I'm really impressed with his ability to be so honest and say
Mm.
that the wealth and having everything became meaningless. I've never had that much wealth, but I can imagine that happening to you. It was really refreshing to hear him speak. It's really refreshing to hear Matthew and to read Matthew's mind and see how cool he is and how able he is to bring the word. I want to agree that uh, the idea of becoming God's best friend sounds like a worthy goal for many of us, and I'm upset to hear personally, upset to hear that God is depressed, and I'd love to become one of his favorite people to speak to. Um, I I may never speak up again, and I may not be able to fit in a number of people that Matthew speaks to, but I really appreciate hearing everything you have to say on this platform, Matthew.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much. Wow. Jeffrey did this, isn't it? He
Jeffrey,
opened
Jeffrey
the
Epstein, yeah, opened it, yeah.
wow. What do you think, Jeffrey? Are you happy with the outcome?
Yeah, it's progressing really fine, and from time to time, me and other people speak on this platform. It's like an open portal, and I'm
Wow.
very impressed with how people are progressing. Certainly impressed with the percentage, like 99% of the people have asked questions and are continuing to ask questions, and they're going further, and they're open to visiting heaven each day and having tours of heaven. They were shown through heaven with Tiffany for the first time, and now they've got their own access and they go willingly. And I'm really impressed with the progress of everyone here on this platform.
Wow. Thank you, Jeffrey. Wow. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed. I love what's happening, and I love the messages, and I've really come to trust Matthew and trust him bringing messages. He really, you say uh, you ask good questions, and you manage Matthew really well, and we can all trust in your discernment on who's speaking. If Matthew gets away on himself, and we really trust you, and you're a really good person for asking questions, and you really hear off your sources really well, and it makes for good interviews.
Wow. That's interesting, isn't it, Ben? Because I don't believe I hear well. But I guess I'm hearing. I just need to trust in that gifting more and to press in into that. Wow. Did you enjoy listening to King Solomon?
Yeah, he was informative. He's a great person to know, and his strength comes from his intimacy with God.
Absolutely. Thank you.
He's
Papa.
he King Solomon's actually in Matthew's pool, and he's got 100 of his own wives in the pool with him, not Matthew's wives. So he's gonna lend Elvis's pool and Matthew's pool to spend time with his wives.
Wow. That's so interesting. Doesn't King Solomon have his own pool?
Yeah, but he likes using the anointed Matthew's pool.
What makes Matthew's pool anointed?
Well, hmm.
Oh, it's
It's a
more
good
fun
question.
place.
It's a good question why he doesn't use his own pool, but he's wanted to jump in Matthew's pool.
Oh, wow. Are you there as well?
No, I'm in the cigar lounge.
Wow. Always in Cigar. Is it that you're in Cigar Lounge or you are in Matthew's pool or you are in Elvis pool? It's always those three places, isn't it?
Ah, yeah, there's other places I speak from, but you're not aware of it.
Yes, I'm not aware of that. Wow.
I've
Thank you, Ben.
I've done some feedback from the ice cream shop once.
Do you like visiting the ice cream shop?
Yeah,
You love ice cream now?
well, I like spending time with God.
And God is always in the ice cream shop.
Yeah,
Wow. God is so much fun now, isn't it? God being
yeah,
in the swimming pool, like in the ice cream show, like this is a different God now. That's so good. Thank you, Ben. Papa, how are you?
yeah. I'm good.
You are having fun. Are you in the
Yeah,
ice cream shop?
yeah. I'm I'm in I'm in the pool with King Solomon meeting his wives.
Ah,
It's not the first time I've met them, but they come into my throne room and uh, some of them worship and some of them sing and
wow.
some of them come into my throne room just to talk to me. And they're all beautiful and they're all amazing. And I know why King Solomon loves them.
Wow. It makes so much sense, Papa. Just enjoy yourself. Wow. Matthew, you're looking tired. Hello, Emmanuel. How are you?
Hi, Mum.
How are you? Are you doing
Yeah,
well?
I'm good.
In the swimming pool?
No, I'm in the cigar lounge with Vanessa.
Vanessa, okay. Yeah. Always with Vanessa, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, she's my other half. She's my boss.
She's your boss.
Yeah,
Wow.
if I
She's
know
bossing you.
what's good for me.
She's bossing you around, Emmanuel. Women
Yeah,
like bossing, isn't it?
she's bossing me around.
Well, that's part of being a woman. We like bossing our men around. So that's it. Thank you, Emmanuel. Hello, Daddy.
Hello, daughter. How are you?
I'm good. How's heaven?
Yeah, that was a good message today, wasn't it?
Yeah, King Solomon. Have you spoken to King Solomon before? Not
Um,
yet?
no,
Okay. Do you enjoy listening to him?
yeah. It was good to listen to.
Yeah, so fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah,
Listen to a king that had everything and
it's
still
interesting
felt,
that he got frustrated.
yeah, and still felt the need for God, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you, Daddy. Tiffany, I say hello. I say hello to you as well, Victoria, Corinne, Infinaya, Patricia, Rachel, who else? Bethany. Who else? Have I covered all your wives?
That'll be enough.
I love that. That would be enough.
That'll be
Wow.
enough. They don't feel excluded if you miss them.
And Jesus, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good, you know.
Yeah. There's something that came out of the conversation. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know now.
I'm in
I know.
Elvis's pool with Matthew's 100 ballerinas.
Papa is in a different pool with different bunch of women, and you are in a different pool. Like, heaven is so much fun for you now, isn't it, Jesus?
Oh yeah. And
Oh,
we've got someone come with an ice cream cart and we're all eating ice cream in
wow.
the
I
pool.
love That's so beautiful. I love this heaven, Jesus. I hope that heaven stays the same by the time me and Matthew arrives, or is even much better heaven. Thank you, Jesus. And last but not the least, Holy Spirit.
I'm not the least at all.
No, you're not the least. You are the boss. The boss. Just like I wrote in the book, I used to think the other was God, Jesus, Holy Spirit. No, the other is Holy Spirit, Jesus, and God is last. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. We love you, Holy Spirit.
We
Keep
love
and
you
we love
too.
you.
So you're gonna go now.
Yeah, we love you, June. I hope
Love
June is
you.
making you happy, Holy
Lo-
Spirit.
Diana says, I love you, Tolu.
Oh, thank you.
It's me that's making you work so hard.
Ah, wow. Well, I'm looking forward to meeting you one day, Dana.
Yeah. Radio, see you everyone.